Well, it is time for Dungeon Crawler Carl by Mr. Matt Dinniman. Holy cow, is this book a riot? Just an absolute trip. I've got the hardcover here. Let me slide this the cover off here. Oop. Do it without ripping it. It's really nice. The big bright pink and yellow. But let's check out the book. You take it off and here's our hardcover. You will not break me. Very nice indeed. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Here's a look at that cover again. I love it. I love it. So, sorry about that. This crazy, crazy book, Dungeon Crawler Carl. We're going to start with non spoilers and we'll do spoilers at the end. What is this book about? It's about a guy. He's up late at night, has to have a smoke. So he opens up the window because he doesn't want smoke getting into his apartment. And as he's sitting there smoking, his girlfriend's prize winning show cat decides to jump out the window into the tree. And he's like, ah. So he puts on his leather jacket, he's in his boxers, he puts on his girlfriend's pink Crocs, goes outside to get the cat when all of a sudden, phoom, all buildings, cars, anything man made has been flattened like a foot on a paper cup. Gone, pulverized. And Carl's out there with the cat, like, what in the world is going on? Then a voice comes over and it says something like, people of Earth, blah, 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 50 years ago, so now we're here to. Goes on this big long spiel, and at the end it says, those of you who have survived. Because just think, if anybody who is indoors got crushed is dead. Everybody who happened to be outside at that very moment survived. So the voice says, you can either stay up here on the surface and try to survive up here where whatever's left, or you can come take part in our dungeon crawl. So all these portals of light open up in the ground. Anyone who wants to go in can go in, and of course, Carl goes in with the cat. So, what is this dungeon thing? There are 18 levels to this dungeon, and they tell you if you can make it all the way down to level 18 and get past it, you will become leader of your world. That's right, only one winner will come out of this dungeon and they will become ruler of the world. You're kind of thinking, well, there's nothing really much left of the world, but whatever. You're in it now. So now this part is where it might throw people off or make you not want to read it. If you are a gamer, or you've ever been a gamer, or you've ever played an RPG, Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, anything like that, you are going to connect with this book immediately because this dungeon is a video game. And I mean exactly like a video game. When you're riding along with Carl, from his perspective, he gets a HUD where he can see his health bar is up here, his mini map is down here. He can bring up menus to check out his inventory, his stats, his skills. He can check out other things on there too. He's in a video game. His mind and brain have become like a HUD interface for a game. He even has to go to a guild to find somebody to kind of be like his trainer, give him the tutorial of how this game works. So if you're not a gamer, you're not familiar with gaming stuff or RPG stuff, I'm not sure how this will sit with you. Because me, when he talks about all this stuff, the HUD and the mini maps and the inventory and how to do this, and this, I can visualize that stuff in my head. So it's like, oh yeah, okay, he's doing this, okay. If you have no experience with that, it might be a little difficult. I don't know. Because it is pretty tutorial heavy at the beginning. There's a lot of stuff he has to learn, or he'll learn little things and then go out into the dungeon and do some stuff. And when he comes back, then his trainer will say, okay, now that you've experienced this, we can move on to this part of the tutorial and I can teach you this. So there's a lot of that at the beginning. Eventually, though, that becomes less and less as he gets more familiar with it. So again, total video game immersion, which is awesome. Now, there's another aspect of this. You have the dungeon part, Carl just trying to survive, because there are baddies in there. Goblins, there are llamas that shoot lava, there are fairies with the bodies of 40-year-old women flying around, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Dogs, flying things, goblins, just nutso stuff inside. Pigs in tuxedos. So he has to survive. But at the same time, this dungeon is also part of a televised game show. Well, game show, it's just televised, kind of like the Running Man, right? There are people watching to see how people go through this dungeon, and it's televised to the entire galaxy. Trillions and trillions of beings are watching this show. So as they go along further, eventually you can start seeing how many people out there have viewed you, viewed your adventures, how many people have liked what they've seen from you, and how many favorites you have gotten. Favorites are like subscribers. Whenever something happens, they'll get a notification or they can immediately pop to you and see what's going on. So there's that aspect of it too. And why does that matter? Because the more followers you have, the more popular you are, eventually you can get patrons or sponsors. And these are like companies or entities that will sponsor a crawler and give them special gifts. Maybe you get a piece of armor that you wouldn't necessarily get till many, many levels down. So you want to get notoriety and followers. And how do you do this? Well, you got to go through in style. Maybe come up with a catchphrase when you're killing something. Maybe come up with fun, goofy, silly ways of killing stuff in the dungeon. Anything to get more attention to yourself. So there you have it. It's a video game plus a TV show with social media aspect of it. And along the way, it is just hilarious. There's other people obviously from Earth that have come down into the dungeon, and there's a lot of back and forth between Carl and one of his partners in particular that I won't tell you about, but just has me dying laughing. The stuff they say back and forth to each other. And then the game itself, or the dungeon itself, is hilarious. It talks whenever you kill somebody, you get loot boxes, or you can loot their corpse to get items. And the descriptions on some of these things are just sarcastic or nasty or just crude, like a little like sexual in nature or just nasty kind of stuff. Kind of almost like South Parkish, what they come up with for some of these things. You're just like, whoa, my goodness, was not expecting that. So yeah, if you're a video game fan, you're gonna love this book. I definitely highly recommend it. We're gonna jump on over to spoilers because I've got so much to get off my mind about this. It's fantastic. We're gonna do spoilers, so if you have not read it, stop here, go read the book, and come back, and we will catch you then. All right? Okay, spoilers. Obviously, Carl's partner, Little Miss Princess Donut. Man, their interactions, their back and forth are just they had me rolling. All the stuff, and I'm really glad. Cats. Every time you have cats and a talking cat, cats are jerks, right? They're jerks. They're selfish, arrogant, and I'm really glad. They did some of that at the beginning, but then that kind of died off because that would get old really quick. But she still keeps up with some of it here and there about her comments either to him or to other people about their relationship or about Carl, which is absolutely hilarious. There's that bit where they're going on that one game show, and she's like, "I think I'm going to be sick," and somehow talks about her barfing on his pillow, and turns out she tells him she did it on purpose. He's like, "I knew it." Or the best part was, I think it was the second boss where they made that bomb on the cart, and they're running, they push it in, and they start running back, and they're running, and Carl's like, "Donut, did you see it? Did you see it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I saw it. It was big and ugly, just sitting there reading a book." And they stop. He pushes the button for the detonator. Boop. You gotta wait that 5 seconds, and Donut goes, "And there are a whole lot of babies in there too." Huh? In the very next line, "God damn it, Donut." Killing me. Absolutely crazy. All right, I'm gonna have to look up my notes here, as there's a lot to talk about with this. What was the first thing I want to talk about here? Let's look. Oh, well, so obviously we finished level 2. We're going down to level 3. They're not going to change their race. I'm pretty sure about that, right? Cat's going to be the cat. Human's going to be a human. Class, obviously no guesses as to what class they would choose. I'm thinking they're going to get a list. Donut's going to go through and just pick the first thing she sees that sounds good, because she never reads anything. So she's just gonna be like, oh, this one sounds nice, bloop. And then Carl's gonna be like, God damn it, Donut, why'd you pick that one now? Because you're this, I have to choose something opposite. You know, whatever weaknesses you have to have with that class, I have to be prepared for him. So he's gonna have to probably end up choosing something really stupid. That's my guess. Oh, Mongo. Mongo the little dinosaur, which they told us is going to turn into a velociraptor. So that's going to be fun. And it makes. I was thinking, are they going to be able to accessorize this thing? Like, eventually, is Mongo going to have a cape and a Viking helmet and a monocle? Why not? Why not? With this book, who knows? But I think that's a nice addition. You know, I'm always thinking as I'm reading this, like, how are they going to keep this fresh? Because eventually, like I said, the newness of it wears off. Once you learn about the game and all getting items and stuff, you notice as the book went on, whenever he got stuff, they're just like, oh, and he got some stuff. They didn't tell you about every single little thing. So how are they going to keep this fresh? Well, obviously, a little velociraptor pet makes it very, very fresh. So interested to see what goes on with that thing later. Then we have the crazy lady, Agatha. How did she get those weapons in her cart? And the thing she said about what she was mumbling, like, they know I'm here, but they don't know how to deal with me. Is she like a human from another world that was a part of something in the game but got out? Or, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe she was just a crazy person who found one of their spies while they were spying on Earth, trying to develop the game for Earth. Did she find one of them and take their stuff? But they couldn't do anything to her? I don't know. It's a mystery about that whole thing. It's kind of like in the Tide Child series, there's that crazy lady on the boat, and they're like, don't talk to her, she's crazy. Well, in the end, she really knows what she's talking about, knows what she's doing. I have a feeling Agatha's kind of the same thing. All right, what else here? Oh, the Skull Empire. Now that's not coming to level 9 because of Donut's crown, right? That she's going to be part of some kind of clan. It's their enemies against everybody else. And the Skull Empire, I guess he keeps talking about level 9, but surely they're going to be able to do something before that, right? We're going to hear about them. Maybe they're able to interject into the dungeons somehow. Maybe they have, I don't know, control over another TV show or something. Kind of interested in how that's going to work, because level 9 is a long time to wait for that to show any fruit. So let's see. Oh, and then the TV shows themselves. Obviously, they're going to be on Odette's show, like as regulars, it sounds like. So I'm pretty sure that he's slowly going to learn more and more about not only the dungeon, but I'm guessing the behind the scenes, like the people who are actually, in control of everything, what maybe more of what exactly they want. But you wonder how much she's going to tell him, and how much she tells him won't exactly be true, because they talked about how people don't do anything in here unless it's going to help them. So maybe, I don't know. It's a hard one to think of, how if she's actually going to turn out to be a friend or a frenemy. I don't know. And what other game shows did they come up with? That was crazy in Maestro's show. Obviously, geez, that was a psycho show with a bunch of teens in there just going glurp, glurp, glurp. And you're like, yeah, as soon as that started rolling, it's like, this show is going to be awful. But how, like, within the show, they could mess with the game or mess with your life in the game, right? They froze that battle and took those two people out of it and like, hey, we're going to play a game within a game. You're like, oh my goodness, that's awful. So that's crazy. Let's see here. What else? Oh, let's talk about some of the bosses. I skipped right over the bosses. The first one, the Hoarder, that was a nice, fun surprise. I love that first experience of the music coming up, the mug shots of Carl and Donut, and then the Hoarder, and then description. And then Donut shoots the lightning bolt at her, it opens up her shirt and reveals her, you know what? And you're just like, holy cow. That's just another clue early on about how crazy this book was. But yeah, gives her the old Jabba the Hutt treatment, which was pretty funny. And some of the bosses, though, I'm so disappointed with how they just killed them so quick. Obviously, the second one's all right. He pushes the cart in there, blows it up, and then it's just like, I'm just going to try that every time. Which I guess if I'm playing a game and that works, I'm going to do the same thing. It's like, well, let's just try to throw bombs into the room first, see if we can damage it before we actually have to fight it. So yeah, the juicer one, I like that battle. Again, with the tentacles, the one with the big tentacles where they put the tables over and next to themselves, that one seemed kind of short, where they just sent the like zombie bomb out. And then the gerbil, I was so disappointed with the gerbil. I was hoping for a nice, long, crazy fight with just a fast little nutso gerbil making donut go nuts or whatever. But that one ended way too short. Got eaten and he jumped out and just punched it and done. So that was disappointing. But man, kudos to this guy for creating all this and to think of this, because man, that's a lot of awesome creativity with the bosses and this whole thing. I do wonder, again, with keeping it fresh, like when I'm reading this, the dungeons, they're just like big wide open spaces, right? Just floor, wall, ceiling. Later on, are they actually going to be like designed like something like a jungle or deserts or a city? Because I can't imagine you go through, how many books are in here, 7 or 8, and it's all just wide open, boring stone floor dungeons. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. So yeah, that was the bosses, and they keep talking about the luck. It does seem like, these boss battles are pretty tough for them, some of them, but I don't know if they're just getting lucky. Who was it who mentioned the AI? It was like the AI just favored him, and that's why they're just getting lucky. They're really not as good as they are. Maybe it was Maestro who said that. But yeah, that was pretty nuts. I don't know what's going to happen with that other couple. Was it Frank and Maggie with their daughter? I don't know. Guess we'll see. Maybe the Maestro who did the Skull Empire will use them or help them out, because he gave him that gift where he can find Carl anywhere they were. So that's going to be interesting. And the last one, which I really liked, was the end with Rory. Let me see what the name of this thing was. Something about the Pineapple Gang or Pineapple Cabaret. Let me see. Part 1, Roy. Backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret. And this one, it just has part 1 of Rory. So I don't know if the next one will also be Rory or they're going to do different characters. But if this is like a little like a mini series at the end of each book, oh, I'm down for it. This was pretty interesting how she chose to switch her name on the chat interface, and then here come the hard shells. So yeah, that was a nice little treat at the end of the book. Overall, fantastic. What a fantastic book. I was about 20 or 30 pages 20 or 30 pages away from the ending, and I immediately ordered the second book, which I don't know when I'm gonna have time to read, because I've been promising you Mistborn, and September is going to be Mistborn month. So I don't know if I can get a second Carl done before then. I also said I was reading Shogun. I got about a quarter of the way through Shogun, and man, I'm struggling with that one. DNF'd, maybe you can say DNF'd. I'm still going to try to push that out. So maybe I should try to get that done before Mistborn. We'll see. Anywho, stick with this book. Fantastic book. I would love to hear what you think about this book. Man, just so much to talk about. Can't wait to read the second one. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and I will catch you next time.